And now that I'm here, I'm really eager to answer any doubts, any questions that you may have. So. Okay, you're asking me if the resin will discolor over time. Yes, some people claim that it doesn't. Some said that they have been tested for 80 years with no discoloration. The question is how much is going to affect the stone, because you see when you inject resin or oil, it's in such tiny quantities that the drastic change is created by allowing the light to go through it, not because of the quantity. It's just that possibility to let the light go through it. So even if they discolor, you might notice it in a very light stone, but in a stone that is with good color saturation, you won't even see it. Unless it's a huge, massive hole, maybe yes. Okay. Anybody has any questions?
Is the resin that they're using, is this something that's commercially available, or is
the resin? Well, yeah, I think the resins are commercially available. The thing is, everybody has their secrets, secret combination or secret resin or a secret way of doing it. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about treating your own stones when we finish this round of questions. So if anybody has another question, please. Sure. Yes. Yeah, we do oil the stones after we polish them. But sometimes I have found that I think Jonathan Roll and Marshall Howard are responsible for a lot of the things that are happening. Like you get too good polish. So when you got a fracture, it's nearly healed, sealed, and you go and oil the stone, there is no oil going in. You know? In some cases, I have to retouch the stone with a rough lap, have it oiled, and then polish it. Because the polishing laps that we have available at the moment, they are super. I mean, this lightning lap with cerium oxide or the green ray, amazing laps for everyone. It's amazing. Anybody else? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about treating the emeralds. When you finish cutting an emerald, when they are very included, sometimes they have this yellowish stuff, which is oxidation from the mud, you know. And you can treat them with acids like muriatic acid that is available in the shops. And that's going to help remove all that. Excuse me. And after you clean them very well, you put them in water and put a little bicarbonate of soda, which is going to neutralize the acids that you use. So by the time you finish doing this, the stone is really ready to be treated. The most powerful equipment that you have, with better treatment you're going to get, all you really need is a vacuum pump. You need something to put the stones in with the oil. Always heat the oil because the oil is thick. When it's hot, it becomes very thin. And if you vacuum it for a long time, like overnight, when you wake up the next day, you will see a completely different stone. Now for those stones that are not so complicated, I did use a system, I don't know if they sell here in the USA, a device called the vacuum beam. It's for vacuuming bottles of wine. So what I did with that is that I bought one of those vacuum beams, and I took the thing that goes in the bottle, so I only ended up with the pump, and found a little glass bottle and a stopper, one of those stoppers that are using the laps. They have to be the same size of a wine bottle available in the shops, because I have seen them. And all you do is the same. Put the stone with the oil, heat the oil, start pumping and pumping, and they get filled. You know, it's not the most technical way of doing it, but it will do it for you. And always, please be careful if you are using acids. You know, wear your goggles and take all the preventions that you can. So. Okay, sadly, everybody should be using cedar wood oil, but you know, this synthetic stuff is so cheap now that people are using all kind of stuff. You know? But ideally, with cedar wood oil and the thick one, because there is some that is too thin and it will come out very quickly. So try to get yourself a thick oil. Cedar wood oil, yeah. Yes.
How should I care for my emerald that's already cut set?
Okay. First of all, avoid any heat. Even washing the dishes with hot water, it could affect your oil treatment if it's oil. Obviously the same, you know, be careful not to smash it and to clean it. Use soft or cold water. Get a toothpaste, some toothbrush, and clean your stone with that, and all around the pavilion and all that to make it sparkle again. And be gentle with it, and put a bowl underneath in case it comes out and it doesn't go down the drain. But if you do that, that's good enough. That's what you will need to do. Oh, if he ever loses the oil, then you will have to take into consideration re-oiling the stone. Any other questions? Sir? Yes, you can re-oil a stone while it's still in the ring, but it's messy because it's sticky. So don't do what I did once foolishly. You know, I re-oiled a stone that was in a ring, and then the ring was so sticky that I used a lot of alcohol to wash the oil, and I washed the oil that went inside the stone, so I didn't do anything with it.
Other stones that you benefit
From treatment? Yeah, well, as you already know, rubies are being treated more or less the same way as emerald. I think it's not as bad with emeralds as rubies with this glass-filled ruby. That's a very drastic. No. I had certain amounts of look sometimes with aquamarine, you know, and I think you will have success with any stone as long as it allows the filling agent to go. Because even if you use cedar wood oil and the refraction index of, let's say, tourmaline is higher, well, it's still better to have it filled than having a crack, because it will allow some of the light to go through, and that's what you want.
When you examine an emerald that's been treated under magnification, do you see any difference where the cracks are faded as opposed to the rest related to dark?
Yeah, in the microscope, you can see when the stone is filled. Usually you will see parts that are not filled because there is just no way for the oil to get in there. It depends on the amount of filling that the emerald has. I mean, in the ideal world, to me, to make this business more fair, would be to put a filling agent in the stones that can react to something like ultraviolet light, so that when you see it, it will shine at you. Ooh, man, this stone is terrible. Look at all that. Okay. So then it will allow everybody to have a clear way of seeing how much the treatment is affecting the value of the stone. And then we will see less people being ripped off and a lot of happy faces. Okay.
Is it possible to overfill with oil into an emerald?
No, because the emerald will never overfill because it will only take the amount of oil it can take. The rest will be wiped out when you clean the stone.
So if you left it under vacuum, I don't know, 24 hours, 35 hours, it wouldn't matter.
No, it doesn't make any difference. You might get a better treatment. Because think of this. You got an inclusion like that. Okay, so how you call this? A neck bottom or bottleneck? So when it goes really tight, yeah? So the biggest part is going to fill very quickly, but it's got to go through this very tiny hole to get to fill the other side. So you are going to need time because that filling is going to take more time to go through that. So many people, which is one of the problems for some and the benefits for others, are very impatient. So they say, no, just like that. And then you lose money because you could have peeled the other bit and you would have gained more value. So yes, if you leave it, it's not the same 2 hours than overnight. So it's better to do it overnight, at least.
I can turn that question around so it's a little better. When you're putting it in a vacuum, you're not putting the oil in stone, you're pulling the air out of the stone and the oil replaces it. So that's how you don't overfill it.
That's right. Vacuum really takes the air out of the stone. And obviously when you have nothing in a place, the oil will take that space on its own. But still, like you're saying is very true. But my preferred system is if I can vacuum and then I apply pressure to accelerate the treatment, because pressure will make those tight cavities, you know, the oil will be pushed by the pressure faster than it will do with gravity inside the tube.
Is there a vacuum measurement that you try to achieve?
Yes. The machines that they sell, the two-stage vacuum pumps, that's the ones you want, you know, when you're doing treatment. If you have one at home, just try to find a container and put everything together, and those will do a very good job. I used to have that machine in England when I was a dealer of minerals there, and I didn't find one place in England where they could oil emeralds. So in the end, I ended up making a machine like that. Yeah. No, the emerald is always submerged into the oil. One thing that I forgot to tell you, always when you buy a piece of rock that has the color plates in some situation, the first thing that you have to do is identify where that is and at what angle I am going to put. So if you put your fingers like this and imagine that that is your pavilion, and then you place the color there in one corner, that is a really accurate way to see what are you going to get from that stone, where do you want to place the color, because sometimes in a crystal you have two color lines, one is weaker than the other, so take your time, turn the stone, and always do this because it was a trick. You know, you will see the angle of your pavilion there and you see, yes, it's ideal to place the pavilion here, or no, maybe I have to turn it a little bit more. So that is a good tip for you to look at. So not only with emeralds, but with any stone that might not have an even color in the pavilion.
What's the best material for polishing each?
The best material for polishing that I found? No, I wouldn't. All emeralds polish well. I mean, the problems that you get with emeralds is when they have like little flaky bits, you know. But in the pre-polishing process, you learn to do that, to remove them or to make them as little possible as you can. And when you find a situation like that, light touch is very important. Sometimes reversing the machine, looking with your magnifying glass to understand in which way that little chip is traveling. Sometimes it's better to go the other way and it will make it more stable. Sometimes they go, and when they go, you have to be happy because the stone is not going to have a little problem. You see, this is one of the things that I don't like about printing stones for other people, because I have to leave those little things. If it's my stone, I will never leave it. But for the others, I have to, because they are looking for weight. That's all they care, and I have to do it.
Syrian, it doesn't really make a lot of difference.
Yeah, no, but it does, because if you find a facet that is very delicate, cerium is softer than aluminum. So you better do it with cerium and do it very slowly. And our machines are very good at that. I mean, a jump peg is like a horse. You know, with our machines, you can really go down slowly. You're always going to hit the same plane, you know. Whereas with the jump peg, it's your hand. So if you twist a little bit, bang, it goes. So we do have that advantage with the faceting machines that we use. Anybody any questions? Cedarwood oil. Cedarwood. No. Sticky. Okay, so I thank you very much for your attention. God bless you.